Hi, we're Jen and Chris Corsi, and today we want to talk to you a little bit about staying anchored in this storm. You might have noticed that you're feeling a lot grumpier, a lot snappier with your family. Just your patience is wearing thin a lot more easily, even with your kids, with each other. And, that's kind of to be expected right now, right?
It is. This is a time to be very tender with the weaknesses in your midst. And you know what? That can be hard to do. Not only our own weaknesses, but the weaknesses that we see in others. And so, you know what? A lot of us are just feeling the strain. And what happens with strain is it knocks out our brain's master switch, our relational circuit. So when this master switch goes down, I lose all these relational resources that I count on, like how to be able to calm and quiet myself really well, how to look on someone's face and see that I'm overwhelming them and I need to turn it down, how to be able to predict what's happening in someone's mind based on what I see on their face, and how to predict a negative outcome, that if I say what I'm thinking, it might have some casualties, so I probably shouldn't say that. Like, these are just a few of the important skills that are gone when the master switch goes off, and it's just not pretty.
No, it's not. And it hasn't been quite so pretty around our house, honestly, either lately. It's been a lot harder to keep that master switch on, stay in relational mode. We find ourselves falling out of relational mode a lot more often. I know I found that with myself. I'm sure you've noticed too.
Yeah, and you know what? The key is not to do things perfectly. The key is not to fall out of the boat. The key is to learn how to get back into the boat quickly. So whenever the master switch goes off, we want to learn how to faster repair, how to get back into relational mode, so that then we can continue to build some joy. And that's really what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, these next 4 days we're actually going to be going into the 4 elements that we can use to get back into relational mode. And what we want to talk to you about today is how to handle it when we've fallen out with each other, right?
Yeah, you know what? One of the best things you can do is get really good at saying, I'm sorry. Now let's practice for a moment. Dear, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings when I said that, or I made you feel unimportant when I did that. Will you forgive me?
Yes.
Now see, that's those words. We want to get really good at those words.
Yeah, or I've said a lot to my boys lately, I'm sorry that I just got snappy. Will you please forgive me? And we're teaching our kids to do that, but we also have to do it with each other. Giving each other some grace, giving ourselves some grace, being tender with those moments where we mess up, and owning it. Because when we own it, we're letting the other person know that we're not proud of that moment. That's not how we wish we'd acted, and we'd like to do better next time.
Yeah, there's a bit of parenting wisdom, and it says whatever you want your children to do or to practice, you have to show them. And so parents, this is really a good opportunity to help them understand, hey, we're feeling the strain. All of us are feeling the strain. This is hard. The longer these hard times continue, the more of a strain it takes. And you know what? It gets harder to stay relational. So we want to take a deep breath. Remember to breathe. Remember to say, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? Let's get really good at this, because you're not going to do this perfectly. We're riding out the storm here, and it's going to take time. In fact, life's going to have a lot of storms. Even Peter says, don't be surprised when fiery trials show up on your doorstep. So the key is not to avoid these things. It's how do we stay our relational selves when they show up.
So today I'd encourage you, pay attention if you've noticed you're slipping from that more patient, more stable spot. And if you need to apologize to somebody, apologize. Things are going to get messy. And so let's just, make sure to keep our relationship strong in the midst of it.
And here's an opportunity. So if you've done something that you know has robbed somebody's peace or hurt their feelings, I want you to go to them, say that you're sorry, invite them, ask them to forgive you. If it was a friend, you can text them, you can video. Let's be really good at repairing, and remember to breathe.